Well, don't worry. You can still have an amazing day without paying to skip the lines. In this video, I'm going to talk about underrated attractions that will keep you and your family entertained while everyone else is standing in line for the big rides. Let's go. Hi friends, this is Laura Kromzak with the Disney Slowdown, and I've been doing a series of Plan B options for not only Disney in general, like maybe it can't even be in your budget, it's not on your plate, and it is expensive. So if it's not an option, I've given you some other alternatives or maybe other ways to experience Disney World, just a little out of the box thinking. Plus, I'm also hitting each park and we are breaking down what's the top tier attractions in this park and what are some really great alternatives that hardly ever have a long line that will keep your family moving and having a great time without sacrificing your entire day by standing in these outrageous lines for the top attractions that everybody has determined are so awesome, or paying extra money to skip the line because frankly, I'm opposed. I think it's ridiculous to pay the extra money to skip the line. I think Disney's already expensive, and maybe it's because Disney used to give it for free. Now I know Universal, SeaWorld, like they all have the pay to skip the line options. And I don't think about that, but their ticket prices are so much less expensive than Disney. That was always the hook for me. Oh yes, Disney's expensive, but you get all these perks. Well, not anymore. Disney keeps taking the perks away, but the prices continue to rise. And so Disney's pricing themselves out of the middle income family, and it's really kind of sad. But that's why I'm doing this Plan B series, because there might be ways for you to experience Disney without breaking the bank. And it might not look like your perfect Disney vacation, staying on property and 5 park days and the free water park that they're offering now. Like it might not look like that, but if what you want is just a taste, we've got some options for you. So today we are talking about Animal Kingdom. I have already covered Epcot. Of course I did. That's my favorite park. And I have covered Hollywood Studios. So the third park that we're covering is Animal Kingdom. If you've missed any of my Plan B series, I will link the whole playlist at the end of this video once we are done with the live and it's stopped processing and I can actually edit. Yes, I am going live in the middle of the day as well. I have been trying to do it later on at night, but it's been very difficult because I've been very busy this week. This summer is very busy for us, so I thought, you know what? I've got some time. I'm just going for it. You can always catch the replay, right? Let me know. Are you watching it live or are you catching the replay? Are you a subscriber or did you just find me because you're scrolling through YouTube and I happen to pop up? I would love to know. What I'm seeing on my analytics is that most of the people watching my videos are not subscribers. They're completely new to my channel. So welcome. Thank you so much for popping in. And if you are a subscriber and you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. If at the end of this video you think, hey, there might be something here, she might be onto something, these might be helpful tips. My whole channel is full of helpful tips, especially for new families, families with special needs kids, larger families. That's kind of my area of expertise because we are a larger family, which really means more than 4, right? Because finding a hotel room that accommodates more than 4 people can be a pain in the butt. So, larger family, special needs kids, we love amusement parks. That's who we are. I'm just here to help you, give you some tips and tricks to help make your vacations go a little smoother because these amusement parks can be a little challenging for larger families, and especially if the kids have some issues and they don't like people, but you still want to ride rides. I mean, I get that. It sounds like an oxymoron, but I completely understand. Like, my kids don't exactly like the whole people-y side of it, but we love roller coasters. So now let's talk about Animal Kingdom. I would say Animal Kingdom is kind of a double-edged sword because there's really only 6 rides total in Animal Kingdom. And of course, the top 2, really there's only top 2, is the Flight of Passage, which is a very unique ride system. You're on this Banshee, which is kind of like you're on a motorcycle. It's very similar to the Tron ride vehicle. You're on this, it's basically, it could be a motorcycle. If you didn't know it was a Banshee, you're on a motorcycle. And then it kind of comes up and locks you in place. And it's a big screen, though. You're in a room, so it's a big screen, and you're riding this Banshee, and it's swooping and moving, and it is a really cool ride. I'm not gonna discount that at all. But because it is the big ride in Animal Kingdom, it's the one that everybody's running for. So unlike Hollywood Studios, where people are going to be split up into maybe 3 or 4 different directions, at Animal Kingdom, they're run into 2 places, and they're both kind of in the same area. The second big ride really is Kilimanjaro Safaris. The reason why that's such a big deal, especially for in the morning, is because the animals are up and they're moving around and it's a little cooler. When you start getting into the heat of the day, the animals are going to go into hiding. So you're still going to be able to ride the safari because you are in this big truck and you're going through and you're looking for animals, and the drivers do a great job of trying to find them. But if it's really hot, the animals are not foolish. They're going to go and hide. They're going to go find some shade, or maybe they're going to go indoors. So your rope drop strategies for Animal Kingdom is really Kilimanjaro Safaris, if that's your priority, or Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage is indoors, so I don't know that I would make that my priority just because the animals are going to be finicky and you're not going to have all day to experience the safari in the same way. The safari is going to be different every time you ride it. So here's another strategy for Kilimanjaro safaris, and that is in the evening when it starts cooling off. That would be a good time to get in line for Kilimanjaro. And if it's raining, the animals love to be in the rain. It's cool. They're going to come outside. So those are 2 other options, although you can't really plan for that. Now, if it's pouring down rain, probably not. But if you've got like a mist or a sprinkle, the animals are going to love that. So what do you do if those just are not an option? Like rope drop's not an option, and you get to the end of the day and maybe there's still really long lines, or maybe your kids aren't big enough for Flight of Passage, so that's not even a possibility for you, or you're just not sure about that ride vehicle in and of itself. I mean, I get it. What else do you do at Animal Kingdom? Because really, there aren't many other rides. I mean, Dinosaur is still up through 2025, but early in 2026, they are going to shut that down and retheme it. The ride system is going to be the same. It's going to have a different story, and it's going to be Indiana Jones. Which, I don't know. I think that ride vehicle needs to be adjusted. Just like I think Rock and Roll and Roller Coaster over at Hollywood Studios needs some work because that is rough. But nobody's asking me my opinion. So you will be able to experience that ride. It's just going to have a different story to it. And it'll be popular for, a while because people are going to want to see the new ride. Plus, there's supposed to be 2 additional rides coming to that new land. So right now we still have Dino Land USA, but Triceratops Spin, which is not a big deal, that has been closed down. So that like the Boneyard's still open and Dinosaur's still open and a couple of their restaurants are still open. But I imagine all of that is probably going to be closed. That whole land may be closed beginning early 2026 when they shut down Dinosaur. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. We haven't really had a lot of information. The other rides in Animal Kingdom really are Navi River Journey. Seriously, is that it? We've got Flight of Passage in Navi, right? You have Kilimanjaro Safari. You have Dinosaur. I thought there was like 6 rides. Oh, duh. I'm forgetting Asia. You have Mount Everest, which is it was a nice fun roller coaster, and that's going to get more attraction. But you can look, if you look in the My Disney Experience app, you will see lulls in the day for that attraction. My kids love that attraction. And then there's Kali River Rapids, which is not always open because it's a water ride. One thing with water rides in any park is if it's cold, nobody wants to get on a water ride. If it's hot, everybody wants to get on a water ride. They're not worried about getting wet. Sometimes it's, a welcomed, it's something you want to do, right? You're like, okay, we're hot, let's go on a water ride, cool ourselves off, and then we'll walk around in wet clothes all day and dry off a little bit. Kali River Rapids is going to be hit or miss. It does say you may get wet. I've ridden it where I've only gotten a few sprinkles on me, and then I've ridden it where like my pants have gotten wet. I've been at water parks. Well, no, I've been at other parks where you definitely get wet, and Cali is not really in that category. So you could ride it and not get anything, or you could walk around with wet pants. So it's still not something you necessarily going to want to gamble with. And again, they frequently close it down for refurbishment during the colder months anyway. So it might not be an option. But let's say there are no rides happening, or there's just no possibility of rides happening in Animal Kingdom. What else is there to do? Oh my gosh. If there was ever a place to just explore and slow down and enjoy yourself, it is definitely Animal Kingdom. Let's talk about some of my favorite things to do at Animal Kingdom. I want to make sure I'm sticking to my notes here. I don't want to just run off. So Animal Kingdom has obviously tons of animals all over the place where you don't have to stand in line to go see them. We'll talk about those in a minute. They also have several shows. My favorite is The Lion King. It's an amazing show. It's about 20 minutes. You don't need a lightning lane to go see it. I mean, it's a 20-minute show. You've got a line outside. Like, you're not going to be skipping the line if you get a lightning lane for it. It just kind of puts you closer to the entrance. Now, if it's a really busy day, you may have to wait a full cycle to get in to see it, but it's a really big theater. They have, I mean, it's kind of in the round, so you've got 4 different sides and lots of seating in all 4 of those sections. So I would recommend getting in line at least 15 minutes before the show starts. Maybe even a little earlier, especially if it's really busy. If you are seeing Mount Everest, Mount Everest is usually the one that I look at because you can find that anywhere from 5 to 35 minutes. So if you're seeing a consistent wait time of more than 35 minutes on Mount Everest, then I would say that Animal Kingdom is pretty busy. Like, you've got to have your places where you take the temperature, right? And Mount Everest and Animal Kingdom, that's mine. Because Navi River Journey and Flight of Passage, those are almost always going to have an hour-long wait or longer. Navi River Journey is really just an indoor boat ride, and it's kind of cool. But if your kids are not familiar with Avatar, they may not understand it. Although it is a nice place to kind of just sit down and cool down, but they may not get what you're doing going through the land and the big shaman thing that you have to which sometimes she's not working and sometimes it's just a screen. I don't know. She's a big animatronic. But I know that we skipped that area with my mom because she didn't know anything about Avatar. So it really wasn't on our list. But The Lion King is definitely something that I go to do and see every trip because it's worth it. It's beautiful. And we love musicals anyway. The other top attraction, which a lot of people don't even know about, and that is out at Rafiki's Planet. So you go through Africa and you have to take a train, just a little train out to Rafiki's Planet. There's a petting zoo out there. The veterinary clinic is out there. So if your kids love animals, that is a great place to go and learn about the goats and things that they have out there in the petting zoo, interact with the animals. They have like a keeper talk out there. They also can see what's going on in the veterinary clinic. So when they're doing regular animal checkups and things, or if they're treating somebody for something, somebody got an injury or whatever, or they're just checking up on them. I mean, it's really cool that they bring them in there and you can view what they're doing. So we've seen birds, we've seen mammals, we've seen all kinds of interesting things, and sometimes there'll be people out there talking about what's going on. So that's a great one. But in that building, we have the animation experience, and it happens about every hour. And then there's like a break for lunch, and then it's every hour, but on the half hour. So you just have to pull up the My Disney Experience app, and the time should be listed. It's a different character every time, and usually it's a different artist as well. We've done it a couple of different times, or we've been out there and we've seen different people, help make the drawing. But you're sitting in these chairs. They're like little desk chairs. So you've got your little lap board, but I think you can also pull a thing over, I think. Can't remember exactly. But we've done it multiple times, and they'll tell you who the character is that you're drawing, for the next session, and they give you this paper, and it's got some outlines, some guidelines to it, and then the cast member just walks you through drawing out this character, and it's so fun. And there's big screens so you can see what they're doing as well, and then compare it to what you have on your paper. And like I said, we've done it several times, and it's a lot of fun. We always try to go out there and do that and try our hand at art, even though I'm really no good at it. And I would say my third top attraction is going to be a toss up. It really depends on the weather. If it's really hot outside, then I will hit the Nemo stage show because it's indoors, air conditioned, dark. It's a nice place to sit down. If not, I may skip Nemo and I may just go walk the trails. There are animals all over the place. So not only can you see animals out at Rafiki's Planet, but if you walk through Asia, you've got the Maharaja Trek. And inside the Maharaja Trek, you've got the bird sanctuary where they will give you these laminated papers, basically laminated almost boards, and it'll show you the animal, the bird that you're looking for, and you can, the ones that are in that sanctuary, and so you can find them and pick them out. So it's a nice scavenger hunt. They also, in Gorilla Falls over in Africa, they have, I think the bat house is over there as well. Plus, there's other, indoor, smaller animal locations, but you can walk through all these trails. Then, even when you're walking into Animal Kingdom, on the way Oasis, there's little places, you've got the aardvark and you've got flamingos and you've got other animals. And then on Discovery Island, there's also different places, and you can, on the My Disney Experience app, you can find the animals and where they are and what they are. So you could just, go that route and explore it. I mean, it is a zoo. And it's a great, it's a zoo with rides and food and entertainment. I don't see anybody having a bad day at Animal Kingdom unless they are like, I absolutely have to ride Kilimanjaro safaris, or I absolutely have to ride Flight of Passage, because you don't. You really don't. You're going to be able to see a lot of the animals and even a lot of the big animals on those trails. The Maharaja Trek has been really popular because they got a new tiger cub. Gosh, when was that? February, I think. I think his name is Boxo. And everybody's been wanting to see the tiger cub, and there are vloggers out there who just sit out there all day and watch the tiger cub in action. And I think there's even an official Disney like a Disney live stream of the baby tiger. So when Boxo came out and was introduced to the the whole area and was taken out of the nursery, the lines for the Maharaja Trek were longer than Flight of Passage because people were like, I want to see the new baby tiger. But hey, there are animals everywhere, and it's a great experience. Another thing that I absolutely love is the Wilderness Explorer. Now, I have all of my Wilderness Explorer badges. I have completed it, but I'm telling you, there's like, I don't know, there's a bunch. I don't think you could get all of your Wilderness Explorer badges in one day because they're spread out all over the place. There's 4 of them out at Rafiki's Planet. So you'd have to walk the entire Animal Kingdom, including Maharaja Trek. There are Wilderness Explorer badges there, and Gorilla Falls. There are Wilderness Explorer badges there. Plus, all over the Oasis and Discovery Island, and in each of the countries, like, they're spread out. So locating them all in one day, I don't think would be possible. But if your crowds are pretty big and your kids just need to hyper focus on something, or maybe you need to hyper focus on something to make it through your Animal Kingdom day, then pick up a Wilderness Explorer book at the first hut that you come to. It's real easy to see. And go collect badges, learn some stuff about animals, because each little stop, they're going to tell you, they're going to teach you something, and they're going to ask you questions, and it's very interactive. You don't just stop, get a sticker, and move on. Like, you got to learn something, right? You're earning badges. So that's one of my favorite things to do, and it's one of my favorite things to do with new people as well. My kids thought it was, boring and dumb because they're teenagers and that's what they do, but oh yeah, the monkeys in Asia. Those are fun. So right before you get to the Cali River Rapids line, there's this what's it called? It's like, it looks like ruins. But if you stand there, you'll see there are monkeys in there. And you can watch them play and swing and have a good time. So that's a fun spot. I've walked by that before and not even realized there were animals in there because they were doing something, or I was focused on something else and I was just walking right by. And then they caught my attention one time. And now every time I go, I stop and I wait and I see what are they going to do. I love the monkeys. I love watching monkeys at the zoos anyway. So, of course, we've been to Wild Adventures, which they have some monkeys, and where else? I was thinking there was somewhere else. Maybe it was just Wild Adventures. So I haven't been to Busch Gardens yet. I have the Platinum Pass for SeaWorld, so I could get into Busch Gardens, but I have not made it down there yet. That is my goal before my pass expires. So maybe we'll make a trip to Busch Gardens, but it probably won't be until the fall because it's too hot right now. It's too hot. They have a couple of other animal interactions there at Animal Kingdom, Feathered Friends in Flight, and Winged Encounter. And I think the Winged Encounter starts in Discovery Island, and then they fly over to Asia where they have the Feathered Friends in Flight. And that you sit in like an amphitheater. So it's more of a discussion than what you're going to see at the Feathered Friends in Flight, but still something to catch. And I haven't caught either one of them yet. So that's on my list of things to do. You are going to see so many unique characters in Animal Kingdom. Characters that you're not going to see in any other park, which is another reason why I love it. While we still have Dinoland USA, which is probably, like I said, it's going to be through 25, but 26, they might shut the whole thing down. I don't know if Chip and Dale are still going to be in their dino suits when they shut Dinosaur down. So I need to get back there and get a picture with Chip and Dale in their dino onesies because they are adorable. That's on my list of things to do for my next trip to Animal Kingdom. Plus, they've got Doug and Russell from Up. I love them. And Kevin is always around. Animal Kingdom opened with a unique character, and you don't see her very often, but I do have a short on my channel because I did finally catch her. She's called Divine, not tied to an IP. She was just there as a character when they opened Animal Kingdom. She's beautiful and graceful, and I love watching her. I've actually caught her a couple of times now, which has been awesome. So if you get a chance to watch that, I'll link that here for you. Let's see who else. Oh, Rafiki, obviously. You would think Rafiki would show up. He was out at Animal King at the Rafiki's Planet. We were inside. We just finished the animation experience. We were walking around a little bit and we saw him, so we got to stop and take pictures with Rafiki, so that was fun. And I think they're adding more characters to Animal Kingdom. They're trying to boost that park a little more and attract people there. They've been doing the cavalcades with Timon, and I'm trying to think of who else was in the cavalcade. I know I've seen Rafiki in a cavalcade, Russell and Doug. So when the pandemic shut everything down, Disney stopped a lot of the character meet and greets, and they started in Animal Kingdom, they started putting them in boats because there is quite a bit of water. Unfortunately, they stopped the water show, which I really wish they would bring that back because I don't know. I wish they'd bring it back, and I wish they would leave Animal Kingdom open past dark, but they still haven't done that yet. But even the water show, they could do a water show during the day with just, fountains. But they started putting characters on boats, and you will see them just kind of sail by. So as you're walking around, we usually go Africa and around the back, and then, Asia, and then around the back to Africa, and you're walking around the lake, and they'll put the characters in the boats, and there's music playing, and they've got some jungle beats going, and it's a lot of fun. So, but they're bringing more characters into Animal Kingdom again for character meet and greet. So keep your eyes out for those. Plus, the regular characters, your classic Disney characters, you get to meet them in their safari outfits, which you're not going to find them in safari outfits anywhere else. So that's fun. Donald and Daisy, and then Mickey and Minnie, they have a specific hut, a house where you can go meet them in their safari garb. Donald and Daisy are down by Dinosaur. I hope they're moved out but still stay there, I think it would be sad if we lost Donald and Daisy. But I guess I'm excited to see the new land. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm still kind of sad that like everything is turning too intellectual property based. Like you have to have a movie and then you've got to capitalize on it and make a land. I really enjoy and appreciate the original Imagineering. Like, let's just create something out of nothing and make it, which is what Dinoland was. And honestly, I think Dinoland is the last land that was just created out of nothing. And it's kind of sad that we're losing it. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what the new thing is and what they're bringing us, which is all South American, I believe, and Encanto themed. So we're gonna have the Indiana Jones, and there should be 2 different rides that I think are Encanto themed. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, if you're going to Animal Kingdom and you don't want to pay to skip the lines, and maybe it's really super crowded, there are a lot of places where you can go and hide. And later on this week, I'm not sure when, because it's already Thursday. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Thursday and I haven't been live on my channel yet. I will talk about some of my favorite eats at Animal Kingdom where you can grab quick bites. I just love Animal Kingdom. I really do, even though I don't spend a lot of time there. So I hope this was helpful for your trip and your planning. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And again, if you find my tips helpful, I would appreciate if you would subscribe, like this video, turn on that notification bell so you know when I go live or load another video, and share my channel to your friends who are planning Disney trips, especially if they're feeling overwhelmed and they're not sure where to start, because there's a whole lot of information about Disney out there. And I'm just trying to break it down for the newest person, because I say this all the time. Disney has so many layers, and the vloggers that are out there are in the parks every single day. I'm not in the parks every single day. I try to get down there about once a month, and I'm really just there for a day, so I'm limited on what I get to do and see. I try to go find, the new stuff that's opening. Like we just went and saw the Disney Villain show. I haven't even seen the new Ariel show yet, and those are both in Hollywood Studios. So my time is limited. I know that your time is limited. So it's great that these vloggers are like, oh, you have to go and find this and you have to go and do this. But if this is your first time to Disney, like you're not even past the first or second layer that Disney has to offer. So focus on those, and on your return trips, maybe grab some of those extra little secret activities or secret places, because you're not going to have time to do it all, and there's no need to stress your schedule out by trying to find all these top 10 things that regular people do, or APs do in Disney World that nobody else does. Well, yeah, because you spend every single day in Disney World, you're going to find different things to do that are off the beaten path. But that's not your focus, and it's not really my focus either. So we're in the same boat, even though I do spend probably more time in Disney than you do. Disney is my happy place, and Disney is my therapy. I'd rather, spend a day in the parks forgetting about my cares and worries and, just life struggles, as opposed to working it out on therapy couch. So that's kind of my take on it. I know, probably too much information. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with me for, almost 35 minutes. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope to see you on my next video.